Welcome back to So Sweet. I'm Leslie and you are in my chaos. This is my garden and it has gone nuts. I haven't been able to really video it the last week or two. Here comes the bugs. Or couple weeks, I guess. Maybe a couple months. But we have exploded. Everything went wild. And now is one of the last days before frost. So I have a lot of work to do, but I thought we'd go through and do a garden tour. Now the garden is pretty messy. I've been harvesting, making pizza sauce, spaghetti sauce, tomato soup, a whole ton of things, but it doesn't look like I've done very much. So it is weeds. You're gonna see the good, the bad, and the ugly today, and I'm okay with that because we're right before freeze, so it's all gonna get wiped out anyways. So follow along and let's go take a look. Alright, so over here on this cattle panel, we have a whole ton of blueberry tomatoes. You can see, I think some blight has set in, and down here I'm gonna show you, because I'm pretty sure it's still there, I have an aphid infestation. That's when you need chickens. You just cut it off, feed it to them, kill all those aphids. But I don't have chickens. So here's all my blueberries. And in here I've got Romas. And right here you can see a little bit, all those white dot thingies. Those are aphids. And we'll show you some more down here in a second. But tons of blueberry tomatoes. Tons of them. So, as you can see, this isn't all my tomatoes, and I've got a lot of harvesting to do. So, I thought I had a pretty good space between these tomato cattle panels, and my Romas on this side, I didn't have anything to hold them up with. No cages, nothing like that. And they made it all the way across over here. So I only have about this much of a walkway. It's okay, I hoped for it. Now over here, so we have a couple different varieties. I've got some Abe Lincolns in here, but a lot of this seems to be blueberries. The blueberry tomatoes. This I have Kellogg's Breakfast, Paul Robeson, Tommy Toe. I'm pretty sure this is Atomic Grape, and then the Isis Candy. And you can see the last couple days we've had an intense rain and they all started splitting. Luckily for me, that's okay, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut them in half and dehydrate them anyways. So I can use them as either tomato chips, or I think it'd be really good to crumble them on like a salad and have little tomato dried crumbles. But my favorite thing to do with them is dehydrate them and turn them into tomato powder. So grind it all up, and then you can turn that into tomato paste. So I don't have to have a million cans of tomato paste, because I'll have a whole ton of dried tomato flour. Anyways, so we had some pretty crazy windstorms, and we threw some yarn up to just try to keep these from falling. I didn't know what else to do because we just wanted them to stay up for the most part. But I have come in here and harvested some corn. This is all glass stem corn, but I'm gonna be doing a video and harvesting the rest because I can't leave them out any longer than tonight. So, whew, I'm getting all caught up in things. Okay, this is another aisle of tomatoes. We have a whole ton more. These all grew really tall and they just started hanging over. So when you have the indeterminate tomatoes and you're plucking off these growths in between the stem, the pit, whatever you want to call it, then it puts more energy into growing it up and growing your tomatoes. And it definitely grew up. I mean, they are tall and they turn you green. Okay, these are the last side of my tomatoes. Some of them didn't get tied up. I ran out of ties and they took forever to even start trying to produce. I don't think they had good sunlight. It's kind of what I have here in the backyard, so what can you do? But we did get a ton of tomatoes, and so no complaints. Now this is all overgrown, but this had a lot of ground cherries. You can still see them, there's tons. And there were only 3 ground cherry plants. I have some nasturtiums here. They didn't do the greatest. My other ones did really good. These are all marigolds, and I actually have a variegated nasturtium plant that I planted in here, which is really fun, except the nasturtiums took over and it didn't get sunlight. I had a zinnia plant and it toppled over and it's just doing its own thing. And so, I mean, what can you do? But over here I have my tomatillos. It was my first year growing them. It's only my second year of having a garden. And I've got a whole ton of tomatillos that I need to harvest, but they grew so crazy. There's got to be a way to control it, so I've got a lot of research to do, because I don't know if you want to top them or what, because this is crazy. I mean, it comes all the way out over to here. Now this had all my green beans. We ate a lot of green beans. We had a lot of green beans fresh, and I need to invest in another freezer and probably like a food, like the vacuum sealer thingies. Sorry, my hair is in my face. To be able to store them all long term. But I thought, you know, this is really good because once they hit this point, they're pretty much dry, and you can just harvest them for the seeds. So that's the seed. Plant it in the ground and it will grow like a weed. Really crazy. So some of these, I'll keep some of the seeds because I still have some. I'll keep a lot of them, except I will be giving seeds to some family and some friends so that they can grow their own pole beans and not know how to control the chaos that comes from them. I did have a melon growing here, but it's nowhere near done. It kind of looks like a cantaloupe, but I was thinking if it was anything, it'd be a Fonzie melon, and I don't think it is, because it does not look yellow like the Fonzie melons I had last year. But it's okay. I do have a small watermelon in there. It's really hard to see. I'm gonna have to pull that guy out. Nowhere near ready. But I think if I save the seeds, I'll be able to plant some more sugar baby watermelons. So right here is my huge Mammoth Sunflower. This thing is a beast, and we just cut the head off of this and one other one 2 days ago. So I'll be showing you those heads, because this one, I've never seen anything that big. It's like a trash can lid. It's crazy. And the bottom of this, I can't even wrap one hand around it. The trunk's like this. It's literally like a wood. Sunflower wood. I wonder what people use that for. Okay, so this is carrot seeds. So this carrot went to seed and it flowered and it's trying to turn to seeds. So it goes from something that looks really pretty then to something kind of like this, and you can see those look like the seeds to me, and then it turns to something dark like this. So I need to come out and get thousands and thousands of carrot seeds. And so I can gift those or do whatever with them, but we're gonna have a lot of carrots in our future. It's pretty exciting. Now in here, I do have some over there, Tom Thumb, it looks dead, lettuce that I was growing that is now in seed form, and I probably missed some of the seeds. They probably replanted, but there are still some, so I'm gonna try to get that and get them in my seed storage, which I have a lot of seeds, but I still keep buying more. So right here we've got calendula. It's beautiful, and I've been coming out and harvesting these, and bees keep sneaking in my house because they keep hiding in them no matter what I do. The other day we had like 3 bees in the house, 3 honeybees, so we had to catch them and get them outside, which my husband's really good at, so it's his job. Right there I have a whole field of ground cherries, and it was my first year growing those. They kind of remind me of the tomatillos. They grow in the husk, kind of crazy, they go everywhere. Next year I need to plan that better so that we can harvest better and not have hornets darting at our heads as much, because we're making them mad because we're playing in their playground, I guess. I don't know. My cucumber that I tried all year to get going finally started growing, and you can see one here. This one might actually taste good. So what happened was, because it started growing late and it grew in the heat, it made it so they're bitter. So if you grow cucumbers, most varieties of cucumbers in the summer, a lot of times you'll bite into it and then you'll get this really hard bitter aftertaste, and it's pretty rough. So I know my sister grew Armenian yard long, I believe, 3 feet long at times, cucumbers, and they're supposed to be good for the heat so they don't get all bitter and bad. And then I had green beans grow up here, and like I said, we got a ton of green beans this year. I just need to figure out how to store them long term. It's only my second garden. I'm still learning a lot. Over here, these were glass gem corn that grew on their own. They got huge. They did the best out of all of my corn, which is pretty exciting. And I did harvest a few of them the other day, but in one of the next videos we'll be pulling the glass gem corn off and shucking it so you guys can see. A lot of them have been really dark so far. Last year I had more like Easter looking ones. This year it's almost reminds me of like a Hopi corn. Down here I had cayenne peppers, and back here I had another Mammoth Sunflower. and a little bit more glass gem corn, or not glass gem, I'm sorry, ground cherries. And then I have some Paris Island lettuce seeds that I need to harvest. Oh, my hair's so crazy. Back behind this trellis, I have, this is basil. So, oh, it smells amazing. I'm gonna come out, harvest the rest of the basil that I can, and what I've been doing is we try to use it fresh, but you just can't get through all of it fresh, you know. So I am dehydrating it and turning it into a powder so that I can add it to recipes throughout the year. It smells so good. And then over here, these are called it's the toothache plant, but it's also called buzz buttons. And if you chew on it, it's got a weird taste, but it makes your mouth go numb. Now my tongue's numb. It works so quick. Good thing to have on your hand. Good medicinal thing. But woo! So over here I have some more glass gem corn. I planted it in 2 spots and that 3rd spot grew on its own. Man, my mouth is still numb. I even took a break. So we need to harvest all of that. This one's interesting because these grew kind of red, but we had a storm the other day, the last couple days, wiped through and knocked some of these over. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for my garden this year. And this is the end of it. It's gonna get frozen and it's all gonna look horrible and die. So soon I'm gonna be coming through here and trying to clean up and at least pile all the dead plants and things in a pile so that hopefully it turns to really good soil, because I need soil. So thanks for joining me. If you want to support my channel, hit the like button, you can subscribe, and we've got a lot of fun things coming. Even though the garden season is ending, I have things in store, lotions, and just a lot of fun stuff. So join me again, and we'll be getting to those things pretty quickly. See ya. Wait! I almost forgot to show you guys. This mammoth and this mammoth sunflower. I grew this, guys. It is a monster. And the exciting thing about it is my kids, so I'll keep some seeds for me, of course, and we'll try eating some of the seeds, but my kids have some hamsters and they love these seeds, so they get to have some throughout the winter also. But what you do, you can wipe all these pieces off, and then these start to come out as they start drying. You can get them all out, and then you want to let them sit and dry all the way, and then package them, put them in a glass jar, do whatever. But 2 of them, they are huge, but this by far was my biggest one. It's crazy. Glad I got to show you before I left.